Hi everybody, my name is Wei Chun and welcome to another Kurt Tay video where I talk about Kurt Tay things. And today we're going to be talking about Kurt Tay at the Tanjong Car Challenge 2023. Yay! I'm going to talk about the lead up to the event, the actual event itself, what happened, how Kurt Tay got eliminated, as well as the emotional distress that he expressed after not winning the competition, and also some nice takeaways for us to learn from this incident. This is an annual car competition where contestants have to put just their right palm on the body of a car, and if you last longer than anybody else, you get to drive home the car that you have your palm on. The rules I think quite simple. You have to put your right palm in contact of the car within the sticker decal. They have a little hand sticker. Your fingers have to be within the decal at all times, and no other body part is allowed to touch the car except for the palm. For the Singapore competition, it used to be called the Mediacorp Subaru Car Challenge, and it used to happen annually from 2020 to 2019 until it was stopped for 3 years because of COVID. And then 2023, this year, is when it came back. And it came back as the Tanjong Car Challenge. And it's not just Subaru, there's also Nissan cars inside. Because I think Tanjong distributes Nissan cars. That's why. I think a lot of people view the competition in a lot of different ways. Some see it as a test of endurance, some see it as a bit of fun. But maybe a few people, and Kurt Tay is one of these people, actually see it as an opportunity to win big money. And we'll talk a bit about whether this is a realistic expectation or not. I don't think it is. But to Kurt, if he wins the competition, he will immediately sell the car away. He's not interested in the car at all. He's not quite interested in the challenge in itself. He is solely focused on this as a way to earn a lot of money in a very short span of time. So I think the retail price of the car he says is 70k, but I think more realistically it's about 50 to 70 lah. I'm not sure exactly now how much it is. I think traditionally if you win the car, it doesn't come with a COE, so it's still quite a iffy thing about how much money you actually get. There was 1 year I think that the Subaru Car Challenge actually they gave the COE included in the price, but I think that's quite a lot of money lah. So I think in this year also they're not giving the COE. It's just the car itself, which I think is about 50 to 70k lah, but probably on the 50 side lah. Huh? I mean it's not 70k, but it's still quite a bit of money, especially to somebody like Kurt lah. So to him it's a windfall opportunity. I'm not far back enough of a Kurt fan to remember all the times that he had participated in the challenge before. But I remember one time somebody had bet with him that if he lasts more than 24 hours, they will cut off their genitals. This is a male lah, right? So there's genitals too cut off. And then Kurt actually lasted past the 24 hours, but then the guy just disappeared. And then another time I remember he made a big deal about it because he participated in the challenge and he didn't win. I think he lasted about 30, 36, 37 hours. And then he was disqualified by somebody, and then he bore a lot of hatred and resentfulness for this marshal that eliminated him. Like he even repeatedly said their name in the video afterwards where he'll talk about his performance in the challenge. I'm sorry I don't have the exact details on these performances because it's a bit hard to go back and find. Like if you just type in Kurt Tay Subaru Car Challenge on YouTube, it doesn't come up because Kurt doesn't usually label his content that well. So I can't be bothered to go back and dig through every single one of his Q&A to see which one he talks about the Subaru Car Challenge. So all the Kurt historians, please type in the comment section if I got something wrong or if there's more details about the previous times that he had participated in the Subaru Car Challenges. So actually in the lead up for this year in particular, like Kurt is really looking forward to this thing for two reasons. One is because the Subaru Car Challenge has not been happening for the past 3 years because of the COVID virus situation, obviously. Second reason also is that he really needs the money this time. I mean, he always wanted big windfalls like this, but this time he really needed the money because he's fighting an ongoing court case. Now, I won't talk about the details of the court case because it's not something that I do and it's still ongoing. So with the little information that we have about the court case, I do feel a bit like this is also kind of his responsibility and it's not just something that is fallen on his shoulders without his fault lah. But I guess even alleged guilty people should also have proper representation lah. So I can kind of understand why he does want this money very badly. But anyway, the context for this is that going into the competition, he is filled with purpose and motivation to really win this damn thing. And as a result, he keeps talking about and referring to the fact that he will confirm win it if it's just the endurance aspect. So the interesting thing about this year is that they have a new mechanic in there where it's not just the competition would just last until the last man is standing with the palm on the car. The challenge this time will only last for I think 30 hours, and then they will stop. And to whittle the contestants down, what they will do is that they will have challenges along the way. So challenges, I think, got two main types that I saw lah. One was a challenge where you had to do something like hold something in your hand and then adopt a very difficult pose, like a yoga pose, to make it so that you're more likely to give up your position or drop the bottle. So they'll make you do that in between some rounds for a certain amount of time. Or they'll say something like 15 people will be eliminated. So the first 15 to either languish the pose, to let up the pose, or to drop the bottle will be eliminated. They also do this thing called the car swap, because there are several cars. I think like there were 6. Contestants from one car were to switch to another car, and contestants are all assigned numbers. And for some cosmically hilarious reason, Kurt Tay's number is R21. So if he was swapping from one car to another car, he would have to go and find the corresponding number, which in his case is 21. He has to find the hand decal labeled 21 on the other car. And they'll give you a time limit. They'll say like, you have to do it in 15 seconds. So they'll count it down and you have to run to the next car and find your number and put your hand on it perfectly. Otherwise, you'll be eliminated lah. So there are these two kind of challenges. And because there are these two kind of challenges, Kurt feels like, oh, this is stupid, because if it's just down to pure endurance, I will win this thing easy. But with these challenges, they also didn't tell you what the challenges were beforehand. So he was like, I don't know what the heck this is going to be. They should just let it run forever. If it's running forever until last man standing, I confirm win. So he went into this like with a lot of arrogance, like he really think like if it's just down to that, he will confirm 100% win. So remember this detail, because it will come back to haunt him on the day of the event itself. So let's fast forward to the event itself, 4th November 2023. So when the event kicked off, Kurt actually did pretty well. Like he lasted easily past the 24-hour mark. And it just so happened that next to him also was a contestant who had won the 2018 Subaru car challenge. And she also actually was eliminated before him in one of the challenges. So he actually surprised a lot of people with how well he did. I think on the first day it also rained, so all the contestants got drenched, and then he lasted past that as well. So first 24 hours, he actually did pretty well. Like a lot of people in the community was quite surprised, because I mean he has done well in the past, but his physical condition, his kind of physical training, which he did none of, his dietary situation, like he doesn't eat very healthily, and his deteriorating health is something that people kind of expected would play against him, because several years had passed from the time that he had last participated. The organizers nicely put up like a YouTube live stream, so a lot of us were just watching the stream and like, whoa, he's still going, pretty awesome, going strong, blah blah blah, right? People were very surprised lah. So on the second day, I actually happened to be passing by the area. I really did not just go specially to see him. I wanted to go to Kino to buy some comic books, right? And then it just happened to be in the same building. He's outside the building that Kino was at. So I was there at around 1:30 to 3:30, and I made plans to leave at 3:30. And just nice, he got eliminated at 3:29. I cannot make this shit up. You go and see the timing. It's really 3:29 zun zun. So while I was there, he actually seemed to be doing quite solidly. I also saw him do 2 challenges, and he lasted through it pretty solidly. I saw other contestants that really were struggling and trembling to hold the bottle, and he held it pretty solidly, which he attributes to the fact that he used to do new art modeling, and when you do that, you have to hold the poses for quite a long time. So he said actually the challenges, once I found out what it was, easy bro, like I can do this, right? The elimination came when he was actually car swapped into a very difficult palm position, and he calls it the inverted palm position, because you have to invert your palm like that. And to be fair to him, it really is a very difficult palm position. Like if you don't believe, you just go and try to do it on a wall and see how long you can hold it. When I was trying it out, like I could not find a position whereby I could actually rest. Compared to the straight up positions like that, I can hold it so much more easily than doing it like that. Like immediately I feel a strain in my wrist already. So to be fair to him, it's a very difficult position, right? And I'm not sure whether other contestants, they all would have had a go at this inverted palm position. I don't think so, because if you look at the car and the stickers around the car, there's not that many inverted palm position. It's not like 1/3 or half of it. It's like a few of them are inverted only. The rest is all straight up one. So I don't know how fair this actually is lah. But suay he kena. But to be fair also, he had not gotten the inverted position at all up to this particular car swap lah. So you can say he kind of had it easier leading up to then. I think also some of the other contestants would have held that position and they lasted through it. So kind of, you know. But when he swapped to that inverted palm position, he immediately, you could tell he was uncomfortable because he started fidgeting. He started rocking left to right because he keep going around to check whether his fingers were still staying within the decals. And it's hard to see because if you're imagine looking down, right, your palm is blocking your view of the sticker. And at several points, he also used his left hand to kind of hold his fingers in place so that they won't slip out of the decal line. And I think he actually was given quite a lot of chances lah, because I saw several marshals several times go up to him to tell him something. And then he's like, you know, what you want me to do? That kind of pose lah, you know. And just nice serendipitously, like I had my camera with me and I happened to shoot the moment where he got eliminated, and this is the moment.
There could be an elimination, a possibility of an elimination. Maybe a hand slipped on the decal. We're not too sure. We're going to check with the marshals. They are investigating right now. We have an elimination. We have one elimination. Oh my goodness. Thank you very much for joining us.
So eventually his fingers went outside the decal and he was eliminated. So overall performance, I think there was 36 people left when he was eliminated. So if we calculate that out of 174 total contestants, he scored just at about the 80th percentile, which is pretty damn good. He lasted above the 50% and the average performance, and he was in the top 80%, which is pretty good. But certainly it was well below his expectations of saying he confirmed 100% guarantee will win it, especially because he said he would win the endurance part, no problem, but it was the endurance part that got him. Admittedly, it was a tough position, but that is part of the game lah. I'm sure other contestants also kena lah, but he couldn't hold that one lah, you know, so too bad lah. But what was interesting to me is that in the response video also, his sort of perception of the event also a bit off, because he said he nearly won. And in my sort of perspective, I don't think he nearly won. He's top 36 and a few more hours elapsed before the winner was declared. If you're top 5, yeah lah, you nearly won lah. You know, if you're top 2, you certainly nearly won. But top 36 out of 174, good job, but dude, you didn't nearly won lah, huh? It's a good performance, but not that good. So what I also found very interesting was his emotional response to the event after he was disqualified. He made a video response to it immediately when he went home. Like, I think he didn't even go upstairs. He just filmed the video straight away downstairs. You could see he's still wearing the event t-shirt. He's sweaty from the competition and tired, so it's very raw and real. This year also, especially because he really needed the money this year to fight the court case, so the stakes were extremely high for him and he just bared all his emotions.
I feel very like damn bad luck to get out this position. I keep on asking, okay, the marshal, whether can I change? When are they going to swap card again to change card position? So in the end, what happened? I got out. Fuck, man. We don't know what to say, man. Fuck, man. Sick, man.
Very sad. I want to talk about some takeaways that we can learn from this thing and some overall thoughts that I have. So number one is actually, I think the car challenge is a very poor way to make money. First off, you have to consider the number of contestants. There's 174 people. That's a lot of people that's vying for one top prize. So your odds of winning are extremely difficult. There's also a lot of unpredictable external factors that you cannot control, like the weather, for example. In the first day, it rained. On the second day, the afternoon was so damn hot that even though I was standing in the shade, right, I was sweating like crazy, sweating buckets. And you imagine the hood of the car. Have you touched the hot car on a hot day? Like it's really hot stuff, you know, and you have to hold your palm there. It's crazy. Look at this close-up of his hand. I don't know what's happening on the underside, but look at how white and how different the color is from the rest of the hand. It's such a crazy thing to do to your body, right? The physical toll that you do, you know, on your spine, on your back, on your hips, on your legs. And Kurt Tay doesn't have good knees also, you know, so this kind of thing can probably do some serious damage if you're not careful. You also think about the huge time investment. Like, if you want to last throughout, like, that's at least, in this case it's 30 hours, but in previous competition it's like several days, you know, like 2-3 days, that kind. You have to take leave maybe if you are someone like Kurt who depends on getting ad hoc jobs over the weekend. That is like 2 days of income. Actually, in his case, probably 3 days of income because he also has to rest the day after that. It's such a big time investment for what? Let's look at the price. After the first place price, which is the car itself, which is let's say worth about 50k, that's quite a bit of change, right? It drops off so quickly, because the second place price is $5,000 and the third place is just $1,000. I don't even know if that's enough to hire a lawyer to represent you in court. Probably not, right? So unless you end up in the top three, you are probably not getting anything except for a certificate of participation and I think Kurt was saying an umbrella.
In the end, I get the certificate. And what? Umbrella. Fuck here.
Though I will admit that Kurt has some kind of talent for this competition because considering his physical condition, considering the kind of food that he eats every day, considering the fact that he didn't really train for this thing at all, he scored pretty well. So with some training, maybe he can do even better. But talent for this thing is such a specific skill set to have that it's not profitable in any other way that I can think of, unless there's some kind of a static ninja warrior challenge where it's like ninja warrior but pure endurance. Unless there's such a thing, then probably you can use it to earn some money. But talent for this, except for this event, how else can you really earn money, right? So talent for this thing and honing this skill set also actually doesn't mean much, except for the kind of a chance to get 50 to 70k once a year, which is also very scant and very difficult odds, like we said before. And I mean, historically, he has not won it ever. So this skill set has not historically meant anything. So the competition is not something that I think is worth even spending all this time and effort and emotional energy on. The second takeaway that I have is actually the importance of emergency funds and emergency money because I've made a lot of videos in the past about Kurt and his finances, but in this case, it's a perfect illustration of how just having maybe 3 to 5k in his bank account would help him so much in situations like these. And yeah, of course, in this case, this emergency is something that he has kind of brought about himself. But let's consider the emotional toll this thing has brought on him and how it has. I mean, we all saw in the video, he's absolutely crushed, right? So if you just think about it, having a sum of money saved up can help you tank and take less damage financially and emotionally from things like this that are unexpected that happen in your life. But Kurt, as we know, is somebody who spends paycheck to paycheck and he doesn't really save much of a buffer of money. So it doesn't even occur to him that this is something that will be useful, even though this example is coming to him right now to tell him, dude, you gotta save some money for situations like these. And for us, of course, most of us, our situation will not be a court case. It will be something like a medical emergency or random things in your house that break down or random fees that you have to incur for some damage or accident or something like that. But I think it's a good lesson to learn because you look at it now, Kurt is facing some legal issue and he can't even afford legal consultation, let alone representation. So if you specifically don't know how to start with this and what to even think about, it doesn't have to be that complicated. When it comes to emergency savings, just try to have 6 months of your expenses saved up in cash in a bank account that you can withdraw at any time. If you don't know what your expenses are, just put 6 times your monthly income. Then that is your emergency saving that you always have in lump sum in your bank account in liquid cash that you can take out at any time. Done. And the last sort of takeaway for me that I found interesting was how attractive these kind of windfall things are to people with bad financial habits and how liable they are to pin all their hopes and dreams on it and get disappointed and crushed when they don't come true. So again, I've covered a lot of Kurt's financial stuff, but it's interesting because I think this is cyclical. Like one thing will lead to another and lead back to this thing. So his poor general financial decisions means that he don't have any sort of float and stability in his financial thinking, and as a result, he will pin all his hopes and dreams on one big jump, be it the Subaru car challenge, be it the get rich quick courses that he wanted to go for at the time, be it strike lottery 4D Toto. He'll pin all his dreams on this thing, and as a result, because he expects that this thing will happen in the future, he doesn't make the steps to build the staircases, the slow, steady, boring financial stuff that he will need to build to have actually a better life. The thing is that all this boring, slow stuff, right, it compounds. It will get stronger and stronger and stronger as you get started, and your mindset financially will become more stable that allows you to not be so liable to pin all your hopes and dreams on these very low chance lottery type things. And that is so interesting to me that he's always going from one lottery thing to another, to another, to another. Even if you sort of get him out of thinking and obsessing about, say, the get rich quick Lorna K, stock course, stock trading course, he will just jump to the next thing and put the same type of aspirations on the next unrealistic, unsolid, very, very impossible thing to win kind of things. And I think it's actually very important for all of us to get out of that mindset, to even expect that kind of thing to happen. Sure, you can go for these things for fun. You can put a little bit of some money that you can afford to just play into these things. But to put all your money or most of your money into this thing in the hopes that it will actually make your life better, I don't think that's realistic at all. Instead, think about building small steps that are steady, and over time you'll see that the kind of steps that you can build will become bigger and bigger and bigger. And this is the better way to become successful in life and in your finances. He should just focus on upscaling himself, working hard, working steady, having good disciplined financial habits, and then that would actually be the thing that will make his life better, not one-shot lottery things. Let me know what you guys think about the event, and thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.